Hello, this is Hansen from Friends University in Wichita, Kansas. This is the first of a two-part series about preparing and performing pieces with electronics. In part one, I'm going to talk about pieces with fixed media. Fixed media is basically any playback that does not respond to the performer. This used to be called a piece with tape, but now with multiple playback options, we use the term fixed media. To demonstrate how I approach these pieces, I'll be using Stop Speaking by Andy Akiho. When performing a piece with fixed media, there are three major concerns: balance, synchronization, and interaction. In regard to balance, I use chamber music principles because this is basically a duo. I figure out what line I think is the most important, and I bring this out to the audience. With a solo performer and fixed media, there are three ways we can organize this. The performer is the most important, the track's the most important, or we are of equal importance. I'll use excerpts of Stop Speaking to demonstrate how I apply these balance considerations. In Stop Speaking, the fixed media portion is created by enabling dictation on a Word document. From the start to rehearsal 12, the piece tells you exactly this. It says, "Hello, my name is Vicky, and I will provide the digital playback for this solo for snare drum and electronics," and so forth, without repeating a lot of words or stuttering. Because this is really important to the audience understanding the structure of the piece, I make the track the most important part in the balance. So I play most of this at the edge, and I take a lot of the dynamics down a bit just to make sure that Vicky is heard. That sounds like this.
Hello. 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 Oh. My name is Vicky. I will provide the digital playback for this composition for solo snare drum and electronics. This. I mean, my voice was only created using a MacBook Pro and a Microsoft Word document, and my part was typed out word for word.
At rehearsal mark 12, there are a few things that inform my decision to make the performer the most important part in the balance. First of all, Vicky begins to say everything she said at the start, but now she repeats words, she stutters a bit, so it's not as important for the audience to hear that, but the snare drum part is written louder, it's a lot more active, so in my opinion, if I'm going to be playing hot licks, I want the audience to hear what I'm doing. With the snare drum in the front at this section, it sounds like this.
Oh, my name is Vic. My name is Vic. I will provide the digital. I will provide the digital. I will provide the digital. Playback for this composition for solo snare drum and electronics. This was only created. I mean, my voice was only created using a MacBook Pro. And using a Microsoft Word document.
At 17, there's an opportunity for the two parts to be of equal importance. The fixed media part and the snare part have the same rhythm, and this synchronization is what's exciting about this section. By blending these together, we have a unison effect. This blend sounds like this.
And using a Microsoft Word document. The Microsoft Word document. Microsoft Word document.
Now that we figured out balance, we need to deal with synchronization and interaction. These can make the piece feel more like the solo and the fixed media part are working together. In Stop Speaking, Andy writes arrows where the piece should line up, but there are actually places where it can line up. By taking advantage of these moments, it can feel more like the two parts are interacting together. This piece is a really good example because Akiho writes in his performance notes, "The speed and rhythmic articulation of the digital playback text determines the style of each temporal phrase." If we unpack this, this basically says, follow the track. This allows every performer to make some musical decisions to see how they can make the interaction feel more unique. Using this concept, I play the start to 5 much different than what's written on the page. To show you this, I'll first play it exactly as it's written, synchronizing where there's arrows, but otherwise playing it straight ahead.
Hello. 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 Oh. My name is Vicky. I will provide the digital playback for this composition for solo snare drum and electronics. This. I mean, my voice was only created using a MacBook Pro and a Microsoft Word document, and my part was typed out word for word.
Now, let's talk about my interpretation of this section. There are actually a lot of unwritten pauses and some stretching of time in here that we can use to make it feel more synchronized. For example, on the second line, there's a space between digital playback for this composition for solo snare drum and electronics. And on the end of line 4, I put a retardando on word for word, so the rim shot lines up with each one of those words. So, with my interpretation, it sounds more like this.
Hello. 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 Oh. My name is Vicky. I will provide the digital playback for this composition for solo snare drum and electronics. This. I mean, my voice was only created using a MacBook Pro and a Microsoft Word document, and my part was typed out word for word.
By comparing these two examples, you can see how applying balance and creating some synchronization points can make it feel more like the fixed media and the soloist are playing together. Thank you to Black Swamp for creating amazing instruments and for having a place for percussionists to share their ideas. You can see my full performance of Stop Speaking on Black Swamp's YouTube page, and please go to my website, vaughnhansenmusic.com, and follow me, Vaughn Hansen Music, on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.